But in the end, whoever that person is, it's needed, as Norman Foster implied. You can't design a project unless you've got somebody who's providing the brief. And you need somebody in place sooner rather than later in order to work on the brief.
CEO. Mark?
It seems to me that whenever anyone does a project anywhere in the world, actually, they look to people from other parts of the world for advice, and it would be surprising if that wasn't the case here. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need formal membership of committees or whatever, but I would have thought that all the way through this process, it would be sensible to keep on looking at what other people are doing elsewhere, because one always learns from other people's experience.
I would say you shouldn't overlook the strengths of the individuals and indeed the thinking that has already gone on here. Frankly, the ideas that have already come forward for M+ are far in advance of most of the ideas that sit on the drawing board for any architect to deal with on projects that I've known.
But I think you should not underestimate the capacity for people to rise to the challenge, and that many of us, I'd never built a building before I did the Royal Festival Hall project, and I think most of the people who work within the arts, they spend a lot of time working within the cultural sector, but the building part is just something that you've got a lot of other people around you who help you do that. I think there is capacity here, and I think you will be able to find people being able to take that on. I think the first end of it has to be, how are you going to deal with the big integration issues? Who are the people you're going to need to actually make this whole thing work? And then you can start to build up underneath that.
Julia?
In fact, you have a global pool to choose from, as well as, of course, the talent here. So if it's looked at like that, you can cherry pick exactly who is needed for any particular job at any particular time. And to an extent, the world's your oyster. So it's an extraordinary opportunity.
Tim?
I particularly agree with Michael. I mean, I think when people are given the opportunity to get involved with facilities like this, they will rise to the occasion. Everybody on this panel had to start from somewhere, and often with little or no experience. I think when you combine that with the experience that is available globally, it can be made to work.
And Clive?
I mean, I agree first with the question, which is leadership is always the key. So you're absolutely right to identify it. I think what Nick said about the fact that one needs to seek advice. Everything new one does, all of us have to learn, and we all are dependent on getting the best advice. And I think that's the other issue. And I would also add, like everybody else has said, I'm sure there is tremendous talent here as well. Don't underestimate the talent here. But I'd say in artistic terms, the only thing I'd just, in a way, beg to differ slightly with Julia on is that I think you have to be careful. This actually has to be something that grows out of Hong Kong and is a Hong Kong vision. So I think I don't think in the end you'll end up with the right answer if you've got a lot of international people who are creating the vision for Hong Kong.